Hey YouTube, Grunt Reviews here. Finally got this bad boy out to the range. This is our IWI Tavor TS12 range review. Guys, before we get into it, as always, please go down below, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and drop a comment with your thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent. And if you like what we're putting out here, there's a link in the description. Go down and buy us coffee here at the channel. And let's get into it. Okay, TS12, we're loading her up with the S&B 2 3/4 inch buckshot. These will be our first shots. And, alright, 5 in the first tube, and as you can see there's not a lot of extra room, it's loaded right in. We are going to rotate this because I want to load this all out of the same tube to keep it on camera. And 5. All right, so we're loaded. We're going to rack it back. Cool. We're going to hit our shell catch. So what I want to highlight is we have the bolt locked to the rear now. As soon as I press this, I'll take some work and rotate it, that first tube that we loaded is automatically going to send a shell back and the bolt is going to send itself home. So kind of a nice feature. Let's see how she shoots. All right, bolt lock back. We're going to rotate to the next one. Bolt runs home. Well, look at that. First 10 shots, cycles right through them. We did bring a variety ammo. Let's try something else out. Okay, so let's move to some Birdshot, see if it run it. This is the Federal Top Gun. It is 8-shot, 1 1/8 ounce. Do have the gas setting set to low. I should probably make mention that yes, I understand I don't have an optic on it. Was supposed to have been here yesterday. Thanks to the joys of the post office, it hasn't arrived. So this is going to be a little bit more just of operation of the shotgun. We got 15 rounds loaded up. Let's make sure it makes it all the way through, and let's see how fast we, well, let's see how fast I can do it. Guys, that's impressive. So you saw our first 10 shots of buckshot. This thing hasn't been pulled apart, cleaned, lubricated, anything. This is quite literally as it came out of the box. Flew through 15 rounds of the Birdshot. We are going to try some real light loaded stuff and see how it goes. All right, so this is one, if you watched our Toros Coppola review, or Coppola, or whatever you'd like to call it, the T4, we had all of our issues on that with this Winchester Universal 7.5 shot, 1 1/8 ounce load, and it is rated for 1,200 feet a second. IWI says 1,250 minimum, but let's see if she runs it. Here we go. Five, easy and simple, cycled them just fine. I'll go back to this this mag catch, so yeah, we'll call it a mag catch, the rotation lock. So it is very difficult with one finger to get it all the way pressed down and out of place, especially if you're trying to do it quickly. It has loosened up a little bit since I've been shooting it today. We're a few boxes into it. I found kind of an alternative method, which is if you can put your trigger finger, and we'll try to see if we can get that all the way up against it, and keep it clear, it does unlock, as you can see, pretty reliably. The only thing I don't like about that is because this trigger guard is so open, that does leave a lot of room for error for accidentally engaging the trigger. Especially with the fact that as soon as you rotate it into place, it runs the next round home. It is something to consider. It is breaking in a little bit, but still would like to see maybe that in billet or something. Let's run a few more rounds through this of this universal stuff, see if she keeps going. Taking the safety off helps. So hey, runs great. So something else I'm going to highlight here real quick. If I can get our box open. All right, so tactical application or even hunting application. So I've got a couple rounds here, and we'll just say that the mag tube's full. This unloading switch. So you're actually able to hit it, unload it, and it has this nice little catch that stops the round. Now, that being said, if you just hit the button, it usually sends 1 or 2 shells flying right off. So definitely keep your finger there. But there is one of these on both sides. But you could take one round out, and I'm going to load a turkey round here. So let's say you wanted to put a slug in it to engage a different threat, or if you're hunting, maybe a little bit further shot with a deer. You're able to pull one round out, put that other round in, and then we hit our mag release and rotate it into place. So now if I just wanted to shoot a slug one time, a breaching charge one time, I'm in there and everything else is in the mag tube. We don't have to unload it. We don't have to jam it into the loading port. Speaking of, let's see how it runs this turkey load. All right. So, rotate it back into place. And I think we are empty on all cylinders. So, now that we've got it broken in, I've got some deer slug here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take our charging handle. I'm going to adjust our gas system to the high setting for 3-inch loads. I'm going to put the charging handle back in. And bear with me here. I'm going to try to not get outsmarted by the box of slugs. All right. And we're going to see if these deer slugs change at all with the gas for these higher power loads. Something else I'll mention just while I'm thinking about it, if you had a shooter's belt, and I did not bring my 3-gun rig with me today, and you're used to dual loading, surprisingly enough, this thing is actually really easy to dual load, strong hand or weak hand. So let's try it with our finger here. All right, let's see how it does with the reduced gas setting. So, definitely does in felt recoil, if you will, so very subjective. But changing that gas setting to, I'm going to call it high power shells, the H setting, which reduces the gas. Felt recoil is reduced slightly. I'm not going to say it's a night and day difference, but shooting those versus the some of the other turkey loads we've shot, I would say it definitely helps a little bit. Just for kicks and grins, I have got some of this game and target load. It's a 2 3/4 field load. Let's see if it'll run the light stuff on the more powerful round or more powerful shell gas setting. So we'll go 1, 2, 4, and 5. All right, so yep, definitely is starting to break in, but could still be better on that release. Let's see what happens. Runs flawlessly. So when my optic gets here, we are going to run a Holosun HE510. Should be good enough. This is kind of a, you'll notice that there is no no drop, no comb. This is basically like shooting an AR platform straight across the top. So we're going to see if that thing does sit high enough to really use it. But we're actually going to do some accuracy testing with some slugs. Honestly, I really like it. I've seen some other reviewers that had talked about break-in periods, had talked about some reliability issues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 types of ammo. And actually, before we go, I got one other one to try here. This is some reduced recoil double-aught buckshot. This is the Hornady American Gunner. We're gonna see if it runs it. Just for kicks and grins. And we'll put 3 rounds. I really don't know if this will cycle, but who knows? We'll find out. All right. Wow. So in some of the other semi-auto shotguns we've tried, it did not like this stuff. This is on the higher power round gas setting too, so less gassing. This thing eats everything you can throw at it. With the ammo shortage of 2021, it is definitely a little bit harder to try some other stuff, so we are going to be actively on the lookout for it. But truly and honestly, if they made this just a little bit easier to use and maybe lighten the trigger just a hair, IWI, if you're listening, 6-7 pounds would be nice. Honestly, really like this thing. I'll give you my final thoughts in the studio.
So, final thoughts on this. This is definitely going to be one of our long-term reviews. Truly and honestly was impressed with the performance. I had, when these very first came out, I had seen some of the pre-production reviews and some of the very early production reviews where they were saying it needed a long break-in period. They were having issues cycling loads, some of the lighter loaded stuff, lots of malfunctions. It is, we are in the middle of an ammo shortage, so I wasn't able to get a huge variety of ammo, but we ran about 5 or 6 different types, and even the reduced recoil buckshot that has not cycled in a lot of other semis ran excellent with this thing. No malfunctions during the filming. I did have one malfunction. It was a fail to eject. Basically, as I was shooting the last couple rounds as we were leaving, that was the reduced recoil buckshot, and that was with the gas setting set to a higher power load, so it looks like it short-stroked it, which is somewhat understandable with the nature of that reduced recoil ammo. The grunt reviews the laws of shipping. The Holosun optic that was supposed to be here for the review showed up the next day. Thank you, U.S. Post Office. So we are going to run, or we'll be running the HE510 CGR, basically the Holosun green optic for the larger size. Something to consider with this, with the way that this shotgun is set up, you do need to use an AR height mount or an AR height optic. You can't use the really super low pro stuff. Otherwise, you'd have your head almost cocked completely flat with it. So if you're looking for an optic to put on this thing, treat it essentially as you would an AR platform. Really, the magazine rotation release is really my biggest complaint with this thing. If they could put either like a billet aluminum or some sort of take some of this play out of it. I understand that it's somewhat of a safety to keep it from rotating on accident, but if you could get this thing to where you could just hit it with a finger a lot easier, and not have to take your hand off the grip, would definitely probably speed up the rate of fire on this, and make it a little bit more fun to shoot. But I mean, for a home defense, or if this is something you're looking at for duty, for a close quarters type weapon, guys, this thing truly is, it really does shine. The weight is nice and centralized to the rear. It's very easy to hold for long periods of time. You don't get that fatigue from having all that weight out in front of it, like with a Benelli M4 or another traditional style shotgun. We are going to play around. It'll be a coming video. We are going to try to put a salvo on this and see how it runs suppressed for fun. But if you are in the market for a good quality shotgun, and you want something a little bit different, I highly recommend the TS12. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, train hard.